Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, friends, we are from group 2 and we are going to discuss about cohesion and coherence of discourse in the story of Layangan Putus on social media Facebook. Okay, before I start, I will say I enjoy our presentation and focus on our presentation first. So actually in our group, there are how much? Okay, eight members. Yeah, the first is me, Ika Israayu, and then Eka Nurindasari. Are you there, Eka Nurindasari? Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, and then Ice Krisnawati. Are you there? Kak Ice.
Yes, Kak.
Yeah, and then Kak Afifa Faika.
Yes, I'm here.
And then Ibu Siti Fatima. Are you there?
Yes, I am here.
And then Satriana Muiz.
Yes.
And then Asri Dawati.
Yes.
And then the last Adik Ratu Nur Hazana. Are you there? Okay. Please next slide. Okay, for the first slide, maybe this is just introduction about our topic today. So I think that technological will really have developed because we can find many tools to express our feelings or our how to say our experience, our sadness, our happiness. So we don't need like letters or write down on our diary. So we can write down our experience or our sadness on the social media, for example. So honorable, Mommy ISF did the same thing. I think we have watched about a movie Layangan Putus and it is really famous in our life. So I think you all of us know about that. So from the Facebook, we can find many scores like Mommy ISF done. So the discourse of Layangan Putus today will be the main topic of our discuss. Okay, as we know that the topic of discussion from the group 2 is cohesion and coherence of discourse in the story of Layangan Putus on Facebook. So here we will try to looking for, are there cohesion and coherence in the discourse of the story of Layangan Putus. We try to find that. Okay, for that I invite to the second speakers. We'll review about discourse and then cohesion and then coherence before we are going to the main topic of our discussion today. Okay, to the second speakers, time's yours. Are you ready, Miss Siti Fatima? Okay.
Yes.
Time's yours.
Okay, thanks for this chance. I will explain about literature review. There are three kinds: discourse, cohesion, and coherence. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, discourse. Discourse is the most complete language unit and Okay, I'm sorry. I start. Okay, Discourse. Discourse is the most complete language unit and is the high course or large grammatical unit in the grammatical hierarchy. However, the relation of discourse can be in the form of a complete easy paragraph, sentence, phrase, even word that carry the full mandate. Krida Laksana, 2008. So discourse is illustrated to each other so that the first sentence might not be clear meaning. If there is not third sentence, the third sentence might not be clear even an illustration with the social structure that occurs. Okay, next slide, please. And cohesion. Cohesion is a synthetic organization where sentences are arranged in an integrated manner to produce discourse, but in terms of grammatical levels and certain lexical level. But cohesion, according to the Halliday and Hassan Richard, argue that cohesion is a grammatical and lexical relationship between various different elements in one text that can take the form of relationship between various different elements in one text that can take the form of relationship between different sentences in one sentence. Next slide, please. And the last, coherence. Coherence is an aspect of meaning that refers to aspect of speech or the illustrates how implicit proposition can be interpreted and conclude. But according to the Rekema 2008, coherence is interwoven parts of discourse semantic. Cohesiveness that can be achieved by factor outside the discourse. So coherent is the continuity of information. But in this material about the coherence, according to the Baryadi, coherence is marked by conjunction. Whereas the non-significant coherence is the semantic relationship between parts of a discourse that that is textual hallmark by a conjunction but can be understood from the relation between the elements. Okay, for details, it will be explained later by our sister Arsridawati. And I think enough explanation from me. I give back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you for Gina's explanation about discourse and then cohesion and coherence. So we are going to the third speakers, which is talking or our explain about research methodology. So to the third speakers, please, time's yours.
Okay, thank you very much for your okay, I will explain about research methodology. This research was descriptive of qualitative research. In qualitative research, there are several types
Sorry.
Approaches, namely or text studies. Yes.
Okay, actually,
I will continue. Centralis. Check.
Okay.
Check.
Okay, just go on.
Okay. I will continue. This study use a document or text study approach because in this study, the material under study is a discourse from someone's post on the social media, Facebook. Okay, next. Okay, according to Sugiono, data sources are all things that can provide information about data. Based on the source, data source can be divided in two kinds. There are primary data source and secondary data source. The data of this study were disposed from an account social media in this study was social media Facebook, while secondary data sources were literature, articles, journals, and sites on the internet. There are relevant to the
Halo.
Habis suaranya Kak Sri dari tadi anu di.
Halo.
research conducted. Okay, next. Okay, the main instrument of this study is the researchers because in this study, the researcher is a planner, data collector, and data analyzer. The stages of the study were divided into 3 stages, including 1, the stage of making the research design, and the second is the research implementation stage, and the last is the research report stage from Arikunto 1391. This study examines aspects of cohesion and coherence that exist in the discourse of the story Layangan Putus. The data, in this case, the researcher read the whole story Layangan Putus and comprehended sentence by sentence in each paragraph. Then the researcher used the node technique and group the data into each data group to found aspects that exist in cohesion and coherence. After that, the researcher analyzed the cohesion and coherence of the data obtained by the researcher. Okay, next. Okay, back to moderator.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. So we are going to the next speakers. We are talking about findings. Okay, to the next speakers. Time's yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks that given to me to continue the discussion today with the title Cohesion and Coherence of Discourse in the Story of Layangan Putus on social media Facebook. Now, I will explain the next part in the article, which is about findings. There are 7 main parts in the findings, but I will explain only the first part, which is grammatical cohesion, and the rest will be explained by the other member of my group. Okay, next slide. Well, the first findings is about grammatical cohesion. As stated by Sumarlan, 2003, grammatical cohesion is the relation of grammatical elements that are divided in 3 parts, which are preference, substitution, and conjunction. Next, first part is about reference. Sumarlan 2003 stated that preference is grammatical cohesion in the form of certain lingual units that refer to other lingual units that precede or follow it. There are three types of reference. First, persona referencing refers to the reference categorized as a person. And the second, there's called demonstrative referencing. It refers to the reference categorized location on a scale of proximity. And the last one, there's called comparative referencing. It is about reference by means of identity or refers to place, by means or identity or similarity. But in this discourse, Layangan Putus, the type of reference that arises in only demonstrative reference, which refers to place and time. As we can see in the slide, both of them are the examples of demonstrative referencing. Okay, the first sentence, aku 32 tahun. Aku 32 tahun perantauan dari pelosok daerah. Hidup di Bali sudah 14 tahun. And the next sentence, pulang kampung 2011 hanya untuk menikah. Kemudian kembali ke Bali karena suamiku bekerja di sini. The word sini refers to, so it is called demonstrative referencing because it is about a place. And the next sentence is, sekarang dia sudah duduk di kelas sekolah dasar. Tahun lalu, dia memang mengambil kelas bahasa Inggris dan matematika di Kumon. The word bold, sekarang, and tahun lalu is about time. So, it's demonstrative referencing. And next, about substitution. The second part is about substitution. And Sumarlan 2003 stated that substitution is grammatical cohesion in the form of replace certain lingual units with other lingual units, which have been mentioned in the discourse to obtain differentiation. There are two types of substitution appear in this discourse here, which are verbal and noun substitution. In the example, tetapi hari Minggu kemarin kudampingi dia mengerjakan PR di buku tematik. Amir terlihat kepayahan dalam menyelesaikan soal matematika. The word is bold, say mengerjakan was replaced to the word menyelesaikan. So it is called a verbal substitution because the replacement of word which are categorized as verb. And the next example, Amir terlihat kepayahan dalam menyelesaikan soal. Padahal saat masih belajar di Kumon, dia sangat lancar menjawab hitungan sederhana. The word which is bold is matematika replaced with hitungan sederhana. So it is called noun substitution because the replacement of words which are categorized as noun, in this case, matematika and hitungan sederhana. Okay, and the last part of grammatical cohesion is about conjunction. Sumarlan 2003 stated that conjunction is one of grammatical cohesion that is done by connecting one element to another in the discourse in the form of lingual units of words, phrases, sentences, and paragraphs. There are three parts of conjunction, which are coordinative, correlative, and subordinative conjunction. But in this discourse, there are only two conjunctions here, which are coordinative and subordinative conjunction. Look at the example in the slide. The first, Dan tetapi, padahal are categorized as the example of coordinative conjunction. And the next example, which are seraya, sementara, kalau, sebab, are categorized as the example of subordinative conjunction. Okay, I think that's all from me. I give it back to the moderator. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for the nice explanation. It's really clear, I think. Okay, we are going to the fifth speakers. So to Andi Ratu Nurhazana, time's yours.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for this opportunity. Now I'm going to deliver our material about lexical cohesion. As you can see on the slide, lexical cohesion according to Sumarlam 2003 in page 35, lexical cohesion is the relationship between elements in discourse semantically. The lexical cohesion contained in this discourse is as follows: first, repetition, and the second, synonymy, and the last is antonymy. And next slide. First, about repetition. Repetition is when words or phrases or sentence parts are repeated that is considered important to emphasize in appropriate context. For example, in this discourse, aku ke Jakarta sekarang. Aku tak peduli jika harus hilang di sana. Aku akan mencarimu sampai ketemu. In this sentence above, there is an anaphoric repetition. The word aku, which is the repetition in the form of the first word, or phrases at the end of the next line or the sentence. Next slide. The second part lexical cohesion is a synonymy. Synonymy, according to Sumarlam 2003 in page 39, the function of the synonym is to establish an equivalent meaning relationship between certain lingual units with the other lingual units in a discourse. Based on this discourse, there are several kinds of synonymy. First, a synonymy of word with word. For example, lokasi musola yang sangat dekat dari rumah dan rasa kekeluargaan yang sangat erat antar tetangga. Di tengah keberadaan minoritas kami menjadikanku sangat nyaman dan betah di sini. And the second, kulipat mukena sajadahku, kurapikan tempat tidur kami. The synonym of this word, the word of nyaman dan betah. And the second part, kulipat, lipat, dan rapikan. This is the example of synonymy of in this discourse. For next slide. The second one is a synonymy of words with phrases. For example, aku punya Allah untuk bersandar. Aku punya Allah untuk meminta dan memohon. As we can see on the slide, the word bersandar with the meminta dan memohon is a synonym of words with the phrases. Word bersandar and the with phrases meminta dan memohon. And the as is synonym of phrases with the phrases. For example, Dedi, mereka boleh saja memutus komunikasi denganku, ibu dari anak-anaknya, bersikap acuh dan mencabut segala fasilitas di rumah ini. And the word of memutus komunikasi dan bersikap acuh is a synonym of phrases with the phrases. Okay, next slide.
The last of the part lexical cohesion is antonymy. According to Sumarlam 2003 in page 40, antonymy is also called opposition of meaning. Antonymy is another name for object to other things or lingual unit whose meaning. For example, in this discourse, first example, Allah yang Maha Baik. Allah yang Maha Baik yang mengatur segala pertemuan dan perpisahan. The second example, anak-anakku akan jadi anak bahagia yang sukses dunia dan akhirat. The word of pertemuan and perpisahan is an antonymy of in this discourse, and dunia dan akhirat is the second example of antonymy of in this discourse. Okay, I think that's all from me. I hand over to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for explanation. It's very clear about lexical cohesion. And we are going to the next speakers. Eka Nurindasari will explain about temporal coherence and the part. Okay, Eka Nurindasari, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, it's yours.
Thank you. In my material, I'm going to show to you 3 kinds of coherence. The first is temporal coherence, second is intensity coherence, and the last is causality coherence. The first, temporal coherence. Temporal coherence, namely coherence which state the relationship of time meaning between one sentence with another sentence. Its definitions according to Hartanti at 2007. Example of temporal coherence. Aku, 32 tahun, perantauan dari pelosok daerah, hidup di Bali sudah 14 tahun. Aku menjalani pendidikan dokter hewan di Universitas Negeri Udayana Bali tahun 2004, pulang kampung 2011 hanya untuk menikah. Kemudian kembali ke Bali karena suamiku bekerja di sana. In the example above, it appears that contain 4 sentences, and between these sentences there is a relationship between the meaning of time state with 32 tahun, and the next sentence 14 tahun, tahun 2004, and the last sentence tahun 2011. The next slide. Next slide. Okay, intensity coherence. Coherence of intensity, namely coherence which state the seriousness or affirmations relationship contained in a number of marks in its functions as a license between one sentence with another sentence, according to Sumadi at 2007. Let's see the following example. Mas Arif paham menyentuh lawan jenis adalah haram baginya, bahkan menundukkan pandangan terhadap wanita non-mahram adalah kewajiban. Aku percaya betul, tapi kemana dia? The example above consists of 4 sentences. Among the sentences are the expressions indicate the conjunctions bahkan. And the last, the next slide. Next slide. Okay, the last of my material is about causality coherence. This coherence is stated by the first sentences stating the cause, while the next sentence state the effect. Let's see the following example. First, dia senang sekali mendapat hadiah permen dari ustazah karena sudah berhasil menghafal surat Al-Asr. Second example, kami sedang semangat berolahraga agar lebih fit sehingga ranjang kami hidup kembali. In the example, the last sentence coherence causality with the previous sentences. And coherence is marked by the conjunctions is for the first sentence conjunctions karena, and the second sentence conjunctions sehingga. That's the last of my material. For the next, I address to the next member. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. So we are going to the next speakers. We'll explain or discuss about contrast coherence. Okay, to the next speakers. Tatiana Muiz, time's yours.
Thank you very much for the time that has been given to me. Well, I would like to explain more about the coherence appear in the the sixth part is contrast coherence. The contrast coherence is the coherence which state the relationship of contradiction or resistance between one sentence with another sentence. In contrast coherence, there are contrasting conjunction such as however, but, although, and etc. And then the next slide, please. Next slide. For example, in the discourse of Layangan Putus, anak-anak masih belum pulang dari musola. Mereka mengerjakan sholat isya di sana. Arya memang tidak pulang sedari maghrib tadi, berbeda dengan kakak dan adiknya. Amir dan Alman memilih makan malam selepas maghrib di rumah, sedangkan Arya di hari Senin dan Kamis terbiasa ikut buka puasa sunnah bersama di musola. From this example, we can found contrast coherence in the word of berbeda dengan kakak dan adiknya. The next slide, please. And then the seventh coherence appear in the discourse of Layangan Putus is chronological coherence. Chronological coherence, namely coherence which states the relationship of time series. This coherence is often shown by conjunction which state temporally, for example, like then, after that, and etc. Next slide, please. We can see the example in the slide. The first sentence, kuarahkan ia ke sofa ruang tamu, kuletakkan pelan Arya yang juga mulai terjaga, kemudian kudekap erat Abi. And then the second sentence, Mbi adalah panggilan sayang kami. Aku lupa apa yang menyebabkan kami saling memanggil Mbi. Mungkin dari baby, kemudian beralih menjadi Mbi. And then the last sentence is, Mbi, aku ke Jakarta sekarang. Aku tak peduli jika harus hilang di sana. Aku akan mencarimu sampai ketemu pesanku. Kemudian dibalas. From the third sentences, from the three sentences, we can see the coherence about in the word of kemudian, because in the coherence all usually use temporal conjunction like then, after that. I think that's all of my material. I hand over to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. I really inspired, and actually I like watching the movie. It's really good. Okay, we are going to the, I think, the last speakers. Okay, to Afifa Faika, thanks yours. We'll discuss. Okay, discussion.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for the golden chance given to me. The next material is the discussion. So the current research has aimed to investigate cohesion and coherence created in the discourse of the story of Layangan Putus. So it can be seen from the number of cohesive devices used, including grammatical cohesion and lexical cohesion. The first category includes the use of reference, substitutions, and conjunction. Regarding the use of conjunction, which often appears in the story that has been explained by Ms. Asridawati, that karena for vocation and kemudian for temporal conjunction. And also in this study, the writer didn't use an ellipsis. So what is an ellipsis? Next slide, please. So an ellipsis is the functional mark made up of the 3 dots. And an ellipsis is used. The first is to show an omission of a word and words, including the whole sentence from a text. And the second is to create a pause for effect. And the next is to show an unfinished thought. And the last is to show a trail of into silence. But ellipsis is the type that is rarely found in narrations or descriptions, but is usually present in many example dialogue. For the category ellipsis, people are not used to using in ellipsis in cohesive device. So we can, in this study, the writer didn't use an ellipsis. As for the coherence of the story made from the ideas of each paragraph that build narration. From the results of data analysis, it can be conclude that the story writes a coherent story. Where the structure of the text is in the line with the genre of the text. The coherence of the story is also seen from its generic structure. From the findings, the writer of the story showed that the writer used the general generic in the case of complications that show complications that are simple and complex. That implies that the competence of writers in exploring ideas is already good, especially in exploring. And all of this depends on the level of intelligence. Then it depends on the level of intelligence, talent, and experience in writing stories. I think that's all from me. I give it back to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Afifa. Really nice explanation. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, before I close our meeting today, I will give some conclusion. Okay, as we know that our material or our topic today is really attractive, I think, to discuss. So before we are going to discuss, I will give some conclusion here. Okay. Okay, actually this course is always related with cohesion and coherence, I think. We are agree about that. And then in this discourse of Layangan Putus, the method of the research is descriptive qualitative. Okay, and then as we know that cohesion have many parts like reference, substitution, conjunction, and actually conjunction divided into two parts. There are coordinative conjunction and then subordinative conjunction. While lexical cohesion, there are three parts. The first repetition, and then synonymy, and then antonymy. While coherence, actually coherence have many parts also. The first intensity coherence, and then causality coherence, contrast coherence, and the last chronological coherence. And as a result of our discussion today, we can take the conclusion that the most common data found is cohesion in the form of conjunction like word dan, kemudian, etc. Okay, I think that's all from our group 2, and I hope you have a good question so we can discuss well. And big note that we are talking about this course, not the movie. Okay, I think that's all, and pardon us because of our mistake, because we are still studying. So if any mistake, pardon. Okay, I think that's all, and we are from group 2. We'll close our meeting today by saying Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay.